Omid Scobie's interview on This Morning sparked outrage among viewers on Thursday, with some claiming to switch off. One fan even encouraged others to boycott the ITV show. The journalist, who recently released his book Endgame, sat down with Alison, Hammond and Craig Doyle to discuss the latest claims regarding the Dutch version of his book. It was reported that the names of the two senior members of the royal family who made remarks about Archie's skin color were revealed in the Dutch version of Endgame, which led to them being removed from the shelves. However, some fans were not happy that Omid was being given any airtime, and many took to social media to share their frustrations. Others praised Craig for holding the journalist to account over his book. At TracyMitch65818 simply penned, #boycott #this morning, while at HilaryLit84224 said, "Switched over, I can't listen to such rubbish #this morning." At KellyNCC5 went on, "Time to switch over. #this morning." Praising Craig. At Newscastle10 tweeted, "Decent job by #Craig Doyle interviewing #Omid Scobie." At PGUK78 pleaded, "Give Craig the permanent job. He's held Scobie to account perfectly. This is such a biased and loaded interview. Eye roll." At Adzam Kelly stated as at Diana_Craig added, "Don't let him off the hook that easily. #this morning." Others stepped in to defend Omid, with at JDComp commenting, "How can they interview him about a book they haven't read? I'm not saying H is right or wrong, because I haven't read it, but surely they need to know what they're talking about to have this conversation." #this morning. Sick. At Casp19 echoed, "Yes, Omid Scobie, you tell them." During the interview, Omid told Craig he did not include the two royal names accused of asking Prince Harry about the color of Archie's skin in his version of the book. He explained, "It's still being investigated right now. I wrote and edited the English version of the book with one publisher. That then gets licensed to other publishers. I obviously can't speak Italian, German, French, Dutch, or any of the other languages that come out. So the only time you hear about the book is once it's come out in the public domain. I'm as frustrated as everyone else. I make it very clear in this book that I, in every way possible, want to adhere to the laws surrounding this subject." He went on to claim, "It's why I've been very careful in how it's described in the book. And it's why I've never spoken about it beyond what I've said in the public domain before. The reality is, though, is that this is information that is not privy just to me. Journalists across Fleet Street have known those names for a long time. We've all followed a certain code of conduct when it comes to talking about it. It's frustrating that now what's going on in the Netherlands with the book that was obviously immediately rescinded and is now being reprinted has happened. I'm glad to hear that. But for me, I can only talk about the English version of the book that I wrote. I had never submitted a book that had their names in it. So I can only talk about my version. I'm obviously frustrated. And I would say I'm upset about it. Because to be honest, I've been operating a bubble of no emotion for the last 10 days. But I'm frustrated about it just like how many of the other things I've seen, written, or said about the book. This Morning airs weekdays at 10 a.m. on ITV.